Hello everybody, and today we are going to discuss about crit rate and crit damage debate. And you probably And you probably just watched the thumbnail that this is probably just a mother utterly bullshit about. I'm just going to say that crit damage is not equal crit rate. Crit rate is always and it will be always be better than crit damage in many cases, and in far cases of where crit damage should be better one, crit rate is still the best thing you need. And now I'm going to show you in terms of stats. You're probably wondering that first, why I'm talking about stats. Let me show you about a simple stat like Lisa. Lisa don't have any artifact in here, and you see there's something's wrong with it. Remember, crit rate is a half of crit damage value. Like, imagine if you have like 7.8 artifact, like this is 7.8 crit damage in terms of that. But for me, it's not equal like that. You can see from this, you see that there's only 5% crit rate and there's 50% crit damage. And this makes a problem first. Crit rate have an upper hand that you need more than crit damage. You crit damage have a lot more. That's why you, at many cases of people, I always suggest that you build an artifact ratio like this. Make sure is around 1.2 ratio. I'm going to say this around 1.2 ratio. Oops, wrong. 1.2 ratio. Or if your character is like Hutao or something, make sure is the ratio of 2.3 or 2.5. But this only matters if your crit rate is below 85% crit rate, because above that is kinda not no need. But this is makes a problem here. You need 85% crit rate. You have started with 5. You need 80% more. And that's why many characters, you might try looking at your Xingqiu build, and you probably going to see where my Xingqiu is on primordial jet cutter, unfortunately. But if you try to use like other weapon with less spirit, I probably going to use this. And using a normal crit rate, let's check. I should have, I think. Oh, someone takes, I think Diona, yep, Diona takes it, okay. Like, example like this, you probably going to have probably around ratio like this. This is a great ratio, but you probably going to have ratio like this. Ignore about why I'm not using emblem. Remember, I use primordial jet cutter. You're probably going to have this ratio, and this makes it kind of problematic. I don't know. I forgot if Navia is start with crit rate plus bonus or not. I think she start with crit rate plus crit damage plus bonus, I think. And it makes some characters, like example, the look one is pretty much kind of good, because you can reach this ratio, or at least this ratio. I mean, this ratio is the best for mathematically. This is the best. Mathematically, well, I'm not going to fucking write it. In terms of math, that is the best ratio you should try to get, but it's extremely hard. I'm going to say it's extremely hard. I'm not using any good weapon, because you start with a lot of, and this is also for characters that start with crit damage substat. Like example, like I don't know. I think Hutao, right? Okay, oops. I think Hutao start with crit rate. Okay, never mind. I forgot. You can tell me which character start with crit damage, but that is problematic. Oh, Niflat, yeah, Niflat. is kind of problematic because you need still a crit rate. Even with this Martius Hunter, you still need at least getting the probably the I forgot 64. Yeah, you need 64 crit rate. It means you need 59 more. That's kind of bullshit. First you need more, and second, because the value of crit rate from artifact is harder. And what I mean say this is mean you can have a lot of crit damage from this artifact, but you still need crit rate, and that is a lot of problem. And in many cases, crit damage is not even the best thing you want to have. Crit rate is still you want. Remember, the problem with crit rate and crit damage debate is people will say crit damage increase your damage, right? Increase your damage. But I'm going to say this, the damage from crit damage is also dependent by crit rate. Imagine if you hit and you not crit, your crit damage doesn't matter. It's like if you don't crit, you get 0. If you crit, you get 25.1% crit damage. Wow, that's huge. But if you don't crit, you get 0. That is kinda fuck up. Like, it's not like crit damage. It's not like crit rate is changed by crit damage. It's more crit damage is changed by crit rate. And the problem with crit rate too is some characters, and I'm not going to say who is it, but the easiest one here, because there's so much, I'm not going to say everyone in it, but this. A lot of characters also buff crit damage. And if you know some things that not a lot of characters actually buff crit rate, which is kind of weird. Yes, because this is a C6 and unique, but it's kind of weird. The only one I don't have Geo Traveler, but okay, I'm going to show it. Wait. Okay, welcome back. And this, what I mean constellation in here is this, and this also increase crit rate, right? But it's not as big as you think. It's 10%, and there's not a lot of characters can buff this. And even in a lot of situations at C6, even 5-star C6 like this, you will see that, look at this 10% crit rate. What? But 70% crit damage, which is kind of weird for me, because crit damage have a lot of way to get it, but not crit rate. And the last and it's probably like a nail in the coffin for me is the Existant. I'm sorry if I spell it wrong. The existence of this weapon, this series weapon, and I think it's kind of problematic. And if you want for me to talk about this later, I will tell you how broken of this weapon. It's probably like this thing was more than this. The entire this is pretty much you need in your gun a lot of the time. And it's not only for sword, but it's also for normal favonius lens. Is also stupid. This every favonius weapon is absolutely nuts, because it's literally any useless characters become an energy battery at that point. And it's also one of the most craziest pairing with Farusan also. You can check in, I think in F, the tier list in F, I discussed about Farusan a little bit. But because there is favonius weapon also, it also makes your characters like this. Like calling examples, you need a lot of crit rate, and that is kind of problematic because you start with 5. Then fuck them. You need literally like around 40, and if you want to proc it 100%, you need to 100%, and favonius still have a gambling chance, right? That is quite a problem because it's literally impossible to get 100. You need 95, which is closely impossible. Yeah, except you have stupid artifact, which I'm not going to expect everyone have stupid artifact. You're probably going to have at least this kind of artifact, right? This kind of artifact, this kind of artifact, and I'm not going to bullshit it ever again, but because if you know the calculation of CV, the problem with CV is, yes, you calculate 70 by 140, it means you have higher CV, right? If you count that, you have to balance things out, but when usually I see people's build is literally like this, 80 to 140, and this is bad swing. I call it bad swing because there's a gap of crit rate that is not filled. Remember, for me, above 85, you can questionably ignore it, but in terms of math, this is higher. You can try calculate it, and I don't need to calculate it even further. But if you calculate 100 times 200 against 80 times 240, it will be 100% higher. And this is why some characters need more than you think. Like Newbie, you need more. That's why it's kind of problematic at that point for crit rate, because you need an exact 100 in terms of math. Remember, needs 100, which for characters like for me, building Argentino, getting 100 crit rate is fucking hard. Yep, if I have 100 crit rate in here, that is probably like the best Argentino in the world, like basically like that. And that is, well, you can actually argue with me with weapon. Yeah, the only bad side about crit weapon in general, because you have this weapon like this and other weapon like this who have crit rate like this, or the simplistic of this weapon. Fun fact, if your weapon is crit rate, generally is far better than crit damage. Just think of that. Yeah, because remember, you need more crit rate than you need more crit damage. Your crit rate give, remember, I'm also going to put this another time, but consistency damage, which means your damage will be crit. And the problem with crit damage is you see nuking damage, and this is where some characters excel, and you might need more. Like if you see like people using Molani and people using Eula dealing 2 mil, 3 mils in Spiral Beast, that is because they fucking put like 20% crit rate and 400% or 300, probably not 400, but probably like 350% crit damage, yeah, and 1,000 of EM, and just hoping for crit. Yep, that is the sad reality of people who's nuking. Yep, they probably retry it like 7 or 8 times, and they deal 2 millions. But if they try the next floor, that's not going to happen. And anyways, I think it's enough for me to talk about crit rate in general. And remember, if you found any circuit that have crit rate, do not just throw it. It's still useful for buffer. Remember, crit rate as a stat is very, very generally like pure or honest, while crit damage is not very, very honest stat, because you still need crit rate to proc it. So every time you see crit rate, and definitely like this artifact, do not throw it. Even this goes not crit damage is still useful for other characters. And for me, generally keep upgrading a lot of crit rate circuit. Yeah, basically like that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this video is useful. If there is any question about this topic or any other topics that I ever talk, just put it in the comment. I will try to answer it and make sure you satisfied with my answer. And if I cannot answer it and I kind of confused in the same time, I will say it, because remember, I'm not like 100% knows everything in Genshin. I don't think people will also like that, because for me, Genshin as a game is kind of, in terms of theory, is kind of wide, like too much stats. Even for me, I'm only excel in stats. Generally, talking about characters, I'm sometimes confused what's their use and their perfect use. Like, that's why I sometimes criticize other characters, because there's these characters. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next video. Bye bye.